Welcome to the Kegs Fit Experience podcast. You're officially on the podcast now. Today I'm with Kisan. He has been working with me for over a year now, I think, right?
Yeah, bit over a
Yeah,
year.
sick. See some crazy results. I think we've dropped over like 10 pounds, but like the body recomposition has been crazy over the time. I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you do, your training history, and what you're kind of looking to do before you got into the program.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on the podcast, man. So yeah, Kisan. So I work in industry. I'm an accountant. I've been training so I'm 26, turning 27 this year. Started training when I was, I think, 14. Whenever you start training at Cassie. Um, but it was only working out. Never really tracked my food. Never cared about that. Tried to eat healthy, as everyone would try. But it's always just been working out. I'd say I'm a fairly active person. Play pickup sports here and there. Um, yeah, I think when I started working out, and I think we both grew up having probably similar body types, so we kind of know that struggle. So growing up, I was a larger kid. When I started working out, I just wanted to lose weight. I didn't want to be fat anymore. And it took me a while. And I think, to be honest, probably one of my biggest regrets when I started working out was just I was doing random stuff, same stuff, right? You read something on the internet, you start doing it, but I do it for a week, 2 weeks, and then I'd do something else.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of my biggest regrets because I've been working out for so long. But I think as I grew older into like end of high school, I got pretty leaned out. I look back at some pictures now, I was a pretty skinny guy then. And then, yeah, just always working out. COVID came, and then it was one of those COVID tragedies and just like gained bare weight. Didn't really do anything. I just sat at home and worked all day and then just chilled. So gained a lot of weight. I think I went 200 plus during that time. Um, and then yeah, so started working out after again. But I think once you started everything, and started doing your online training and everything like that, I kind of hopped on. And I think for me, it's always been I knew that eating and tracking is important, but
Mhm.
never really took the time to do it. I just kind of in my head was like, okay, well, I mean, this is healthy, so I'm gonna eat it. But then everything else just wouldn't add up. So yeah, that's kind of it. And then I think once we hopped on the program, that was the first time I ever actually tracked my food. For me, over like the past 12 years of working out itself has never been a problem. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy being in the gym. So that's always been good, but it's always the cardio and the eating aspect. And I think a lot of people can probably relate because we tend to
That's
not do much
awesome.
cardio and we don't
Yeah.
really care about tracking food. So I think once I started doing that, that was probably more eye opening. And just like the one thing with your program was the consistency. We do the same workouts repeatedly for, let's say, 3 months. That was something that I used to like as I grew older, I kind of got into it where it's like, okay, you got to actually do something for a while to see those results to see if it's actually even working. But then to add that with the tracking, um, that was definitely an eye opener. And then, yeah, for me, when we first started a year ago, I just wanted to keep losing some weight. Um, we didn't probably lose as much weight, like 10 pounds, definitely not a lot if you think about it on the scale over a year. But like you said, the body recomp has definitely been crazy. I'm a lot bigger now. Just I think when I first came to you, and I used to think that having small shoulders was just a genetic thing. I was like, bro, fuck, like my life is over. Like I just want big. Like, what do I do? But bro, you're just like, spam shoulders, and that was it. So I spam shoulders for like 6 months. I still do it. So I've been
Yeah.
spamming shoulders for a year now.
Yeah.
Uh, my shoulders aren't messed up, nothing like that, and they actually grew. My arms are a lot bigger. Yeah, so it's been a good ride for the past year. I learned a lot and stuff that I'm definitely probably gonna keep on going because at this point, like working out, all of this stuff is kind of just ingrained. So I'll probably do it for the rest of my life.
Sick. Yo, that's fire. I think, yeah, one of the biggest things when we started, I remember you saying you want to get leaner and the shoulders and arms were a big priority for you in terms of making those a lot bigger, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, like you're saying, like 10 pounds, when you look at it, it's like, oh, 10 pounds is not a lot, especially over here. But then you look in the progress pictures, like we looked at it together and we're like, holy shit, like this doesn't
Yeah.
look like 10 pounds, right? And I think that just goes to show that even if you're more advanced in your journey, there's still an opportunity to burn fat and build muscle at the same time,
Yeah.
right? Especially if you think like you always hear like, oh, body recomp, you can only do it if you're a beginner or like if you're like
Yeah.
coming from a thing, but like we just saw it happen live, right?
Mhm.
Uh, so that was really cool to see. What's the, I know you mentioned you learned a lot. What's the biggest lesson you kind of learned over the past year? Like, what did you take away the most?
I think one is the consistency, right? I've been, like I said, consistent in the gym, but my training programs, I wouldn't say consistent. So having a, 3 to 4 month period where you're just at it doing the same thing, that's something that I've learned is a big impact, right? We tend to obviously we'll do something, we don't see some results, then we'll start switching it up. So just sticking to it. And then the food. I think the food, so even if you, I think it's important to eat track for a bit just so you get an idea, right, of what you're putting into your body. Like for me personally, for the most part, 5 days out of the week, I'm eating the same things. Nothing really changes. So once you track it for like, let's say a week, then you kind of know what you're putting in your body, whether you're tracking it or not.
Mhm.
And then the weekends come and that's kind of where I fall off. And, you're going out, you're eating, you're drinking, all of that. But definitely the food is an important part. And honestly, like it's shown, right? Everybody says it. Food is the most important thing, especially when it comes to working out and seeing results. But I got to witness how important tracking was just to understand what you're putting into your body. And now it's just like, even if I don't do it, like I said, I still have an idea of how much I'm consuming in a
What
day.
you're doing. Yeah, the way I look at tracking is like training wheels, right? Like
Yeah.
before you ride a bike, like you want to know what the fuck is going on, how the bike actually works, and
Hmm.
then it's not something you need to do forever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and if you do fall off, it's something you can put back on, right?
Yeah.
And then you just like go figure it out for a week and then go back to it. So it does definitely give you a better understanding of what you're consuming. How did you find like tracking Tamil foods or foods of our culture? Did you find it was super hectic, or how was that process like?
I mean, yo, like you say, right? A lot of, including myself, I was like, bro, how do I even track this? Like, what do I even put? But even MyFitnessPal, a lot of the stuff is there, right? When you search it up. So that was pretty easy. And then I think it's more so I kind of just even sometimes ask you, I'll hit you up, yo, like, what is this or how can I go about it? Um, but yeah, it's the resources are definitely there. It's not too hard. Because at the end of the day, what I've also realized is a lot of the food that we're eating, people in other cultures and countries are eating the same thing with different
Sure.
names or just a different variation, right? So it's all in there. And it's not that hard to track. Definitely a very easy excuse to make though. So because I was on that boat for a very long time. I'm like, bro, like I'm vegetarian on Fridays. So I eat like home food for lunch, like straight like soda curry, and I'm just like, bro, like you can't track this, bro. Like I'm like, yo, straight carbs is not good, but definitely you can track it, and all the information is out there.
Possible for sure. Okay, sick. Um, what's your proudest accomplishment so far during over the past year, like with your fitness journey?
Honestly, just the body recomp, the growth. I think with the fitness journey over the last year, it's the accountability, right? I had somebody to actually answer to now. Um, you're checking up on me, so it was like even if I don't do something, it's like, yo, I'm not trying to disappoint this guy or like waste his time. So
Mhm.
that's kind of what allowed me to do it. But I would say, yeah, just like the how much my body's changed over the past year is definitely something I'm very proud of. And just yeah, like I said, the knowledge that I've gained over the past year of working out, just staying consistent, staying locked in with your program, because you will see results, right? I think I needed to do it for a while to see that it's possible. So now it's like I'm not questioning myself a month into a training program. It's like, yo, is it really working? Because if it is,
It
like
takes
it
time.
will. Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah. Okay, sick.
And then
Uh,
one more thing, yo, the steps. So steps, like I don't, I like being outside. If you ask, anybody that knows me, I like the sun. I like being out there, but um, never would I ever have gone for a walk. I did not give two fucks about walking. So once we started on the program, getting steps in, I became a big steps person, just like, so now I'm up and about walking. I'll walk to my boys' house if they live like close by. Wake up and go for walks. If I'm bored, especially now that the weather's good, man, like I'm just out and about trying to get my steps in. Even at work, I'll just go on random long walks. So the steps is crazy because it's so easy to get steps in. It is definitely time consuming, so you do need to put some time out of your day if that's the type of cardio you want. But very effective. So it's an easy way to lose weight if you wanted to do it that way.
100%. I think when we first started, we didn't have like proper cardio, and I was just like, "Yo, get some steps in," right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what you went and did. And man, like I'm sure you noticed changes in mobility, just your mood coming back to it. You probably feel a lot more productive after you come back from a walk.
Yeah.
Um, so like even for myself, I feel guilty sometimes going out for a walk when I know I have shit to do. It's like, should I really be doing this? But it's like you look at your step counter, it's at like 1,500, and you're like,
Like, what the fuck?
right? So it's kind of like paying a deposit for yourself that you're gonna get back long term, right? That's the way I
Yeah.
look at it. And then use that time to be productive too, right? If it's like listening to a podcast or like fucking doing something on your phone that like it's like taking a call or something, it's like do that
Yeah.
while you're walking. So it's just a lot more productive. You're putting things into it. But yeah, steps is a big thing. I've been a big preacher of that. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're a big preacher of that now too. So that's sick. Um, with regards to the coaching experience, who would you think is like the ideal person for this? Who would you recommend to hop on something like this?
Honestly, anybody and everybody that I would say, somewhat cares about their fitness, wants to make a change. Whether you're a beginner or you've been working out for however long, like I was working out 11 years before I actually got a coach. So I've never been coached, never had a personal trainer, nothing like that ever. This was my first experience. So I would definitely say it can be anybody as long as you got to stay committed to it, right? And I know like there's a lot of people that probably don't even enjoy working out. So there's a lot of different things that people have to come into and be consistent with. But as long as you care and you have a passion for it,
Mhm.
I think coaching is definitely worth it. Like the way I look at it, even if you don't do it for like, you don't have to be my coach for the rest of my life, like fitness wise, right? I can be my coach for 3 months. We can do one full session, like training session together. And I think that will open your eyes to just what you need to do, what changes you need to make in your health and your daily routines and everything, and you see that level of accountability, and you can just go from there. Whether you want to do it on your own, whether you want to keep going, there's always room. But I think it's definitely worth it for somebody to try. That would be my kind of recommendation because I think it can definitely benefit a lot of people.
Sick. Yeah, 100%. I think you do need like a baseline level of wanting to get better and
Yeah,
wanting to improve your fitness, because if you're someone that is struggling to already get into the gym, or it's just like I want to get into the gym, that's the difference between I don't like going to the gym, then maybe coaching is probably not for you, because if you don't like going to the gym, I can't really help you out with that,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Like I think, especially with this, like virtual coaching, right? Is kind of what this is. Like, there's no hand holding in this. It's literally just guidance and knowledge and like suggestions. So that's where you need to have that background of I want to get better. I'm in the gym. You can, don't get me wrong, you can be a beginner. I could have never squatted, never bench
Mhm.
pressed, nothing in my life. As long as I wanted to make that change, and it's like, you know what, I'm ready to go. Because especially for someone that's beginning, like I said, when I first started working out, I was just doing bogus stuff, right, man? Like I'm in Cassie gym, doing machines, doing this, doing that, reading some stuff on the internet, doing it. Biggest regret, because I think if I locked in at that time and actually knew what I was doing, tracked my food at that young of an age, because now I see people that are like 20, 21, and these guys are like jacked going in, and I'm like, bro, like that's crazy because they
Yeah,
definitely knew what they were doing from a young age. So
yeah.
kudos to them. But yeah,
Sick. Last question. What's the best tip you could give to someone on a fitness journey? It doesn't have to be coaching related. Like, what do you think you would give to someone? Say someone came up to you in the gym for advice, like, yo, I'm on this journey. I want to look better. I want to feel better. I want to be stronger. What would you tell that person? What's the number one thing you'd give that person?
honestly, I just say keep going and keep active and just keep pushing yourself. right? In all of these things, whether that's in the gym training, and just staying consistent. Like this, what's annoying about working out and fitness and all of that is you don't see results right away. So for a lot of people, it's definitely very hard to kind of go through that. And it's like a week in and I'm not seeing results, but I'm still putting in the work. 2 weeks in, probably, you're not seeing results. It takes a while, right? Um, but you just got to keep at it. Because if you know you're doing it and you have a goal, like a vision at the end of the tunnel, as long as you're working towards it, you will get there. So I think that's definitely it. There's also definitely going to be a lot of hiccups, a lot of shit that's going to go wrong, whether that be injuries, whether that be tracking, eating wrong. Like, bro, summer's around. All I want to do is go outside, be outside, eat good food. I love ice cream. I love dessert. So you're gonna have it, right? It's like the thing with training and stuff like that is you don't have to cut all this stuff out of your life. I don't have to be miserable and just eat the same, chicken, rice, this for the rest of my life. You can go out and enjoy all that stuff as long as you kind of do prepare for those things. Like, when if I tell you, yo, I'm gonna go out this weekend, I'm gonna juice and stuff, you're like, yo, make sure you're getting the water in, make sure you're eating a lot of protein before. Just those little things, they change it up, but they also, I think another big thing is they make you feel better the next day because you don't feel as shitty, right? So a lot of shit will go wrong, but if you keep up to it, everything will work out at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. I think I've been on the receiving end of those nights out where I just get so fried or so fucked. Like the next day is like next 2-3 days are right off.
Yeah.
To the point where I think I have it down to a science. So whenever someone comes to me with something like that, it's like, yo, here's the protocol for making sure you're gonna survive the next day and not feel like right. That goes a long way. And you mentioned like it's a lifelong thing. It's something you want to do for the rest of your life. So it doesn't make sense to cut out all the shit and learn to live without it because that's not something you plan on doing for the rest of your life. So like if it's ice cream or if it's going out with the boys or whatever, it's like you have to learn how to manage that. And if it's the time like summer, like we had a conversation, it's like it's a time to manage expectations. This may not be the time where everything's gonna be super dialed in. That's totally fine, right? That like this is a time where fitness might not be the number one priority, maybe number 2 or 3, but that doesn't mean it's not a priority. You're not doing things to get it in.
Yeah,
right?
you gotta keep at it. But yeah, man, like I think anybody that says, you got to cut everything out, you can't do what you want to do, whether that's eating or like the lifestyle you want to have, I think that's like bullshit. You could still drink, you could still do whatever you want and have fun with it and still get the results you want. You might have to work a bit harder if you're, sending it every weekend. You got to put that work in. Like one of the things I think when we first started, it's like, yo, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna drink. This guy's like, yo, make sure you drink water even throughout like your night. I used to just, bro, like if I go out, I'm drinking like beers. That's it. There's no water consumption, anything. Maybe I'll come home, drink it. So now I'm just like those little cues, right? You start adding them to your routine. They make you feel better, and I think in the long term it helps out a lot.
Fire. Yo, thank you for your time. Anything else you have to say to the people? Anything else you want to say about anything? Do you have anything to promote? Anything to plug? Any last words?
Yo, no, appreciate your time. Big kudos to you. I see your growth, and with everything that you're doing. So big shout out to you. I appreciate the time that you've given to me in kind of, in bettering my fitness journey. So yeah, anybody that's listening, man, give it a try. Like that's all you can do, right? And then whether you like it or not, that's to go from there. But there's definitely a lot to learn. And just a lot of room for growth for anybody that's working out or a part of this, fitness industry that even likes it a bit. Yeah, there's just so much out there. As long as you have accountability, you have a coach, and you get that understanding, your potential is crazy.
Sky's the limit. Yo, yeah. Thank you for your time, Kisan. Appreciate you. Thank you for listening to the episode of the podcast, and we will catch you guys in the next one.